My name is Michael from Alcom. We're a safety management company based here in Cork and in Bahrain. We provide safety solutions to our companies in areas such as food, manufacturing, retail and construction. Due to the current crisis, we find that staff have to work from home. So we need to make sure that the staff are working safely and that they're comfortable. The employer has a duty under the law to ensure that their workstations are set up correctly, that they have a VDU risk assessment done. Unfortunately, the only way this is going to happen now is like if the staff do the VDU risk assessments themselves. So what we're going to do is we're going to show you a video on how a VDU workstation should be correctly set up. We'll make practical suggestions so that you can look at your own VDU situation and make adjustments as such. At the end of the video, you may decide that you may wish to have one of our specialists look at your setup and help you with the risk assessments and ensure that it's set up correctly for you. And there'll be a link below at the bottom for that. So what I'll do now is, without further ado, I'll hand you over to Peter and he'll go through it with you, and I hope you enjoy it and you get a lot out of it. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Peter, and in this short video I'm going to show you how to ideally set up your workstation at home. Initially I'm going to show you how to set up your classical setup with your desktop, okay? And then towards the end of the actual video I'll show you how you can incorporate your laptop into a workstation like so. So a few of the things that we're going to talk about will be how to set up your chair, the computer desk, your keyboard and mouse, and of course the display screen, and finally then we'll talk a little bit about the environment that you're actually working in. So first of all, your display screen. Now most display screens that you're going to buy in your local computer store will be of a very high grade quality. They don't glare, but do check that in your room when you set it up that you don't get any glare from lights or from the sunshine outside, because that will cause strain in your eyes. Okay? The other things you'll be looking at will be the brightness and the contrast buttons along the base here of the actual display. That's a personal setting that you really would set up yourself depending on your own eyesight, and pretty much after just adjusting those a few times you will find the best, most comfortable setting for you yourselves. Key thing here is that you do not want to get eye strain. If you start getting headaches, that's a telltale sign that something is not quite correct. So key thing that we have to look at then after that is the positioning of your actual display screen. I'll talk about the table a little bit later, but pretty much for now you need to have your display screen pretty much in the corner of the orientation of the table, and you can see here where the two walls are coming together nicely in the corner there. Now the distance that the display screen needs to be is pretty much, when you're sitting inside, an arm's length away. Okay, that's a very good rule of thumb to actually use. So you don't want it too close to you, and then again, obviously you don't want it too far away as well. Now looking at the height of this, you must have a height adjustable display screen. Some of them that you'll purchase won't. Ideally do try and purchase a height adjustable one, and also one that is tiltable. Okay? Now if you can't purchase a height adjustable one, you're going to have to, in time now when I explain the height of the actual display screen, you will have to put an adjustment. Could be a few bucks. You can buy what we call VDU risers inside in your PC store as well, but it pretty much, you need to have this display screen where your eyesight, if you're sitting straight facing it, where your eyesight is going to be a third of the way down the actual screen. Now if you look at me here, obviously my eyesight is hitting probably around here. It's too low. If you have a display screen too low or too high, you're going to get serious neck problems, okay? Strain throughout the day. So first thing I have to do here is actually raise the height of this. Okay, and I'll just have a look at that and see how we're fixed. Okay, so I'm sitting here, my eyesight, yeah, that's pretty much it. So that is your setup. First thing you need to do with your actual display screen. So the next thing you need to consider is your actual chair that you're sitting in. It really needs to be a computer chair. They come in different styles, etc., but they all pretty much have the same basic controls and adjustments. Key thing is that if you don't use a computer chair and you use something from your kitchen or from another part of your house, a chair from another part of your house, you're going to run into problems with ergonomic strains and stresses in your body. So let's have a look at this chair. Key thing you need to look at first is that everything really must to be in a right angle. So for my feet on the floor, okay, I have got my, I'm just going to adjust it there a little bit, yeah, that's better. I've got a nice right angle between my thigh and my foreleg, okay. The next thing is between my torso and my thigh, I've got a right angle as well. So that's perfect, that's what we want. We also want to sit right back into the actual seat. So you get that good lumbar support there coming from the tilt adjustment, okay? On the actual adjustments, we normally have two controls at the base underneath the actual seat. One is for height and one is for tilt adjustment. So here I am, I'm set up correctly. Now let me just show you how you could incorrectly set it up and the problems you can face with. First of all, you can have it too low. See what's happening there? I'm beginning to get a gap between my thigh and the seat, okay? My thigh now, my knees are slightly, in my case, above my actual waist, okay? That forms a problem and we're going to start getting strains around our waist region. So that's incorrect. Conversely, if it's too high, okay, I could be faced with a problem where, you know, and in my case, okay, you can see there, I'm extending my thigh towards the floor. Okay, so I don't have a right angle here, and I certainly don't have a right angle here. Again, I'm going to start getting strains. Okay, the other problem you can have, for some people, if it's very high, okay, I don't have the problem here, but I can exaggerate it where if my legs were dangling, that will create more strain again. And for those people that, you know, if you do set up your chair correctly and everything is at a right angle and your legs are still dangling, you need to get what's known as a good footstool. So that you can place your actual feet on the footstool and the pressure is taken off your actual, your thigh and your foreleg region because you're resting on the footstool. So that's a key thing. Now, the last bit of adjustment that you can do is the tilt, okay? That needs to be at a right angle. Sitting at a right angle like so, I've got good support from my lumbar region. You can release it, and you know, which you can do is release it, okay? If you're chatting to someone comes into your room and wants to have a chat, no problem. Lock it out, have your chat, and it stretches out your back, no problem. But it is certainly incorrect to have it like this if you're going to go back to your computer. The worst thing you could do is do this. And off you go typing. Totally incorrect. You must, and I stress this, and this is one of the biggest problems we have with people using computer chairs, is that they don't readjust them throughout the day. Release the lock, up comes the backrest, get it to a right angle, lock it out, and now you're ready to go. This is the correct way to use your computer chair. So the next thing you need to consider is the relationship between your computer chair, your desk, and the display screen. They all must sync and work together to give you the best, you know, most comfortable seating position. So if we look at the chair first, right, you can see with this computer chair, I've got these armrests. They actually work very well if you don't have the luxury of a computer desk like I have here. So let's pretend it's a kitchen table, okay? And you got your monitor on the kitchen table and it's got the straight edge, okay? What you will need to do is come close to the actual table, like so. Pretend this is a straight line, okay? Place your two forearms on the actual armrests. Now notice how I've got a right angle. That's what you want, okay? You don't want any of this, okay? Stretching out, okay? Putting strain here on your shoulders as you're trying to type, okay? Everything is at a very comfortable right angle. What that right angle is doing for you when you're supporting it on the actual armrest is that it's taking away any strain from the shoulder region. Okay, so that's the key thing. Very effective, use of your armrests, and that's why they are there actually, and that's why the manufacturers put them there. Okay, now in my situation, I have an actual computer desk. Okay, it's nicely curved like so. So all I have to do is get this out of the equation, drop these guys, and sit right into the actual table. Now see what I'm doing. I'm placing one arm here on the curve and my other arm on the other side of the curve. And now I'm actually at a right angle as well with my forearms. The strain is taken off my shoulders because I'm resting my forearms on the table. Okay, because I've actually done my height adjustable on my chair and I'm sitting in comfortably, I need to make a final check that A, the monitor is about an arm's length away from me, and also my eyesight is still a third of the way down. That's one of the biggest problems we have as well with people with their workstations, is that they'll set up the monitor first, and then, which is fine, and then they'll set up their chair. And they'll get comfortable in their chair, but when the two come together, it's out of sync. So you need to do a final adjustment to make sure arm's length, height is correct, right angles in my seating position, good forearm support. Okay? And that'll bring me on to the actual other pieces of equipment that you need. So you need to have, with a desktop, an independently attached, which is height adjustable, keyboard. And also a good mouse as well. Now the thing about the actual keyboard, all the characters need to be legible, okay? Do take time to actually clean these units from time to time, because you don't want to get them stuck, a bit grubby, bacteria getting on them, etc. So, very important. And again, everything with your forearm support, a nice typing action, okay? So that's your keyboard, and then obviously also your mouse as well. Now, you can see this mouse, it's fairly ergonomically designed, okay? Some people are susceptible to strain in their wrists. Their wrists aren't as strong as maybe other people can be. If that is the case, do get yourself a good mouse pad with a foam support for your wrist, okay? And likewise, if you've got the problem with typing as well, get a good foam wrist support that will go just in front of your keyboard, and that will take any strain away as well. In my case, I don't have that problem. Okay, moving on then to the actual desk. You need to keep your desk clean and tidy, okay? You do not want to have clutter around the place, because if you've got clutter, you're going to be inclined to sit into your chair and then maybe scrunch over to one side. And look at the position I'm in here. If I had a big stack of files here, that will create a situation where my torso is a bit contorted, or I'm leaning too much on one shoulder. So again, a clear area. Now, you want to be able to get access to the different things on your table. So if it was a pen or a paper, in this case, my phone, okay, it could be my mobile phone or my landline phone. Now, one key thing about the old landline phones, never, and I stress never, do this. Never type and stay on the phone at the same time. See what's happening with my neck? It doesn't look comfortable. This is going to cause you serious problems, okay? If you find in your work that, well, I'm sorry, I need to be on the phone and I need to type at the same time, well then you need to get a customized, well not even customized, you need to get a good headset for yourself with a mic, okay? And that will allow you to take your call, take the information and work on your computer at the same time. But please, never do this. It's a big serious problem, and you know, a lot of people around the world have got serious neck issues because they're employing that actual methodology. Okay, now let's talk a little bit about the lighting. You will get serious eye strain if you've got lights coming from behind the actual monitor facing you. It's going to glare in your eyes and it can cause serious strain. In my situation here, I've got the light in the room here. I've got the lights behind me. That's the best methodology. Okay. The other thing you got to do, if you're going to have them behind you, which is the best thing, you need to angle them so that they're not directly forming on the actual display screen, that you could get some reflective glare. That's dangerous. Even though I have said before, a lot of these modern monitors actually neglect that, okay? The other thing you need to do, you can see my window here, right? You know, during about 12 o'clock in the day, the sun does come through here. So you need to make sure that you've got a good set of blinds where you can adjust them accordingly, okay? Certainly natural light is the best thing to have, but it can be a problem. If the sun was glaring on there, it would be hitting my eyes so much here, and that will cause a problem as well with eye strain. Okay. Other things you need to be aware of, right, would be underneath your actual desk. Don't have clutter. If you've got clutter here, let's say I had a stack of files there, right, and they were knocking into my knees, and I ended up doing something like so. What's going to happen to my torso? It's going to be contorted. You must have free movement of your legs and swiveling the chair, etc., where you're not knocking into things. Because if there's a restriction, it's going to contort you. Okay? Other things you need to be aware of would be the temperature in the room. Not too cold and not too hot. Comfortable for you. Okay? If it's too cold, well, that will transfer itself into aches and pains in your body, and that compounded with maybe a slight incorrect adjustment of your setup will cause you problems. Okay? The final thing that you need to be aware of then, when you're talking about your setup of your desktop, is that you need to take eye rest breaks. Okay? What that means, under the legislation and practically, is that every hour you need to leave your computer for 5 minutes to rest your eyes. Okay? Now, that doesn't mean you go off and have a coffee every hour. Okay? I know you're at home, but that's not what we're saying. We're saying give those eyes a rest. Go off and do something else. Okay? Maybe look at some files. Why we're saying this is that, look, if you're focusing on that screen for a long period of time, certainly over an hour, just think about it. You're using pretty much the muscles in your eyes for short sight. Okay? And if you use any muscle in the body, okay, for a long period of time, it gets strained and you need to release that. So every hour, take your break and remove yourself from the situation. The other thing you can do as well to help yourself is to do what's known as eye exercises. Okay, and that means that in your break, focus on something that is more than 8 feet away. And what that naturally does is that it engages the muscles in your eye for long sight. So you're doing pretty much the other set of muscles in your eyes that you're using the short sight for computer work. You need to exercise those long-sighted muscles as well. So that's the key thing. So what I'm going to do now is just show you, for some of you that might actually be using a laptop at home, and how you can incorporate that into your actual workstation setting. Right, so some of you might be faced with this problem whereby you don't have a desktop, okay, and you're using your own laptop or your laptop from work, and now it's in your home environment. The problem we have with laptops is that they're not designed to be working on, okay, for certainly an 8-hour period. They're for small bit of work, half an hour here, an hour there, etc. Okay, so just look fundamentally at what the problem is. So I'm sitting in my chair set up correctly, my desk is okay, and then I want to go typing on my computer. So here I go. Now, what is the problem? Well, the key problem is I'm looking down the whole time because I need to look at the screen. The screen is not up at a level where I need to be. So if I do that consistently over an 8-hour period, I am going to be in agony with my neck. Okay, so we need to solve the problem. What you'll need to do is you'll need to purchase one of these guys, a good display screen, independent display screen. And with an HDMI cable, okay, you'll plug it into your actual laptop, okay, and the display will come up on the independent screen, okay. So now we have the image at a right height on our independent screen, and I'm good to go, and my neck muscles are okay now. Some of us, and I include myself in this, we don't like having the same screen in front of us. So I've got it here on the laptop and I've also got it here. So it can be a little bit annoying. What you can do in that situation, gently push your screen down, and you can do an adjustment in your laptop to cancel the image here and just have it there. Okay, that's one way of doing it. And if you do that, you're good to go as well. Me personally, I've gone to another step, okay, and I like to just take the laptop out of the equation totally. So what I do, or have done rather, I've bought an independent keyboard, okay, with a USB adapter. So what that happens here is I'll take this and I'll place it into a USB port here, and now my keyboard action will be governed by this, and also the mouse actually comes with this keyboard as well. So very simply, I'll get the laptop out of the way and reposition my keyboard with my mouse, and I'm pretty much in the situation where as if I have a desktop, and off I go. So it works away quite effectively. So that brings us to the end of the short video. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you found it very informative. I do guarantee you, if you do these simple changes to your workstation at home, you will be injury free. Okay? They're very slight, subtle adjustments you can do on your setup, but it will make the world of difference. So keep yourself safe. Thank you.
Thanks for that, Peter. I hope you found the video instructional, and I hope you found it of use to you. As I said before, if you wish to have us look at your VDU setup remotely, please click the link below. Take care, and let's hope we get out of this as soon as possible. Thank you.